Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach. I don't know, why not? We're in the weekend of Thanksgiving, so hopefully we've come here to say thanks for ourselves and for each other. I'm just going to leave that there. The rabbi's not here, as you could see. We take turns Thanksgiving, alternate years, so it's my turn. And Mark is not here for the same reason. So I will be playing all three roles, cantor, rabbi, and pianist. So I'm very grateful for you for being here tonight and for singing along. What? Yes, the executive director is here. You can hand in your payment request, but not on Shabbat, chas v'chalila, chas v'shalom. So now we are going to begin tonight by lighting candles. And before we do, I just want to mention also that I want to note that it's also Kaftet November, which is, Kaftet is 29, which is November 29th, which is the day in 1947 that the UN voted for the state of Israel. So there's actually a street in Tel Aviv that's like Kaftet November, which is in Gematria 29. And so it's an interesting thing to read on. It's on Wikipedia. I'm sending you out there. And I'm going to invite Barbara Kavadias, our executive director, to light us in Shabbat light. And we're going to sing us in to this ritual, which is part of who we are Jewishly. Continue vigorously and happily and excitedly with a Chadodi on page 20. We sing this as a piyut, as a 15th century Kabbalistic kind of filled with Jewish mysticism, liturgical poem that helps us to usher in Shabbat.
Shamor וזכור בדיבורך
שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורך ומאורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. Continue on page 28. We stay up. ברכו את אדוני We continue together on page 30. Please join me singing, not singing, but praying in the English on 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Together, your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. To you, Adonai, for whom. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעל one together on page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Ki hem chayenu v'arech yameinu, uvahem nehege yomam v'alaynu, ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimen le'olamim, baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, Shema Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We continue on page 40. Let us read together on page 41, the opposite page for the Mechamocha, to set us up for the right kavanah, for the right moment. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Ken yehi ratzon, may it be true. Nora Shabbat really as a guardian of our own souls. So we're going to continue with Amidah. You know how it goes. In the evening, we traditionally pray it on our own. So we begin on page 46 together with Adonai Sfatai. And then we're going to continue each with their own prayers, either with the prayers of the page or the prayers of your heart. The section goes from 46 to 62. Yeah, 62. So please, 62. So please, if you are able at this time, please rise. I will rise as soon as I'm done with this piece. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא אחסר, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא אירא רע, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא אחסר, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא אירא רע, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי. כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי, אתה עמדי, אתה עמדי, לא אירא We think of our loved ones who are in need of a prayer for healing. In our community, in this moment, at this time, we send our most heartfelt prayers and blessings to Uri Ben Ahuva, Michal Altman, Stacey Barretts, Judy Benjamin, Richard Benjamin, Larry Benson, Elena Buxbaum, Ken Christ, Eleanor Dankner, Alan Goldstein, Harriet Goldstein, Harriet Hochberg, Paige Holt, Oliver Horn, Andy Jewell, Lawrence Keefe, Larry Kessler, Reese Osmond, Donna Paris, Eileen Reinfleisch, Carol Rosenblatt, Scott Sains, Esther Batzara, Dini Schlosser, Anjali Shalit, Carol Sheridan, Gunnar Shields, Anita Swatinsky, Marjorie Van Dow, Lisa Wolper, Izzy Yagoda, Chanoch Yefet. If you want to add prayers to somebody whose name I haven't mentioned, please say so at this time. We also send our most heartfelt prayers for good health and coming home safely to the soldiers fighting in the IDF that are of our own families. We think of Itai Lubaton, Shira Feinberg, Meir Analek, Aminadav Blum, Evyatar Blum, Yariv Saar, Sharon Saar, Reuven Colton, Netach Colton, Benjamin Carlton, Hallel Tenenbaum, Harav Nimrod Peretz, Sol Ben Ziva. Please join me in singing the words of the Misha Berach. Misha Berach, Avotaynu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Uyevarech veYirapeh et Racholi. We send more prayers of healing to the 101 hostages still in captivity, unbelievably so. We really pray hard that our prayers and our states people that are responsible to get them out will do so hastily and speedily. And we sing these words which have become our minhag since October 7th to sing for their release. Parashat Toldot houses three main stories. The two bookend stories, in the beginning and the end, are the more famous and noticeable ones. Then there's a story in between those two, less well-known and seemingly unrelated. Toldot famously begins with the birthing story of the twin siblings, Jacob and Esau, introducing yet another sibling rivalry. If we have forgotten, since the beginning of this cycle of Simchat Torah, we've already had Cain and Abel, Isaac and Ishmael. This pair of twins, even before coming out of the womb, are already fighting inside the womb, bringing much suffering to their mother's birthing experience. We begin the parasha with a sibling rivalry, and end with the ultimate sibling rivalry story, the stealing of the birthright. In the latter part of the story, we learn of additional horrible parenting decisions that teach us so many lessons on what to do, what not to do, once again. Traditionally, the blessing of the birthright would go to the eldest son in the ancient world, but once again, our heroes engage in tactics of trickery, lies, and thievery. Rebecca hears that Isaac is about to bestow the birthright upon his son Esau. Knowing her husband can't see well in his old age, she instructs Jacob, her favorite son, to dress as his older brother and trick his old and blind father to steal his older brother's blessing. The hate and anger that follows give us ample learning material on how hard we need to work to not slip into these fight or flight human tendencies. The less known story in between discusses the settlement of Isaac in the land and describes the wells that Isaac digs or redigs in the ground to nurture his people with drinking water. The Torah teaches that those wells were previously dug by Isaac's father, Abraham, but were blocked or refilled with earth by the Philistines. In ancient civilization, digging of wells symbolized a permanent living, and preventing a tribe from having access to their water could have been a tactic to prevent the other from having nourishment. Isaac digs 3 wells and names each one. Since the Hebrew in the Torah always provides opportunities for analysis, discussion, and meaning, we learn here as well that the names Isaac gives to the wells are indicative of the challenges he faces in digging them. I would like to share a beautiful mindfulness teaching of this story from Rabbi Shefa Gold, as I have learned it from my dear friend and teacher, Cantor Lizzie Shamash, who has come to teach here many times and will be here May 10th, plug. Rabbi Shefa Gold teaches on this Torah portion and on Isaac's redigging of his father's wells on the connection to our ancestry. She says that to be fully human is to be connected to our lineage, to experience the presence of our ancestors within us. We receive the blessing of lineage by embracing the ancestors who live inside of us. We offer them our compassion and courage. We receive the merit of their efforts, and we learn from their mistakes. Through our love, their power is freed, their wounds are healed. Through the story in Toldot, we learn to access our lineage. In this time, Abraham accomplished the great work of digging deep wells of spiritual sustenance. But by Isaac's times, the wells had become obstructed. Isaac lost access to the wealth of his lineage. In redigging the stopped-up wells of his father Abraham, Isaac finds that the process is neither simple nor easy. In fact, he digs 3 wells before achieving success. Connection with the source. Each well has a name that describes a marker on the journey towards a deep connection. The first one, esek, is the Hebrew word for contention. Second one, sitna, which is the Hebrew word for enmity or hostility. And the third one, rechovot, which is the Hebrew word for many things, but for the purpose of this, spaciousness. Rachav, from the root rachav. First, we dig the well of esek, contention. We scrabble in a rocky argument with our inheritance, rubbing up against its hard edges, fighting its constrictions, and opening to its contradictions. Then, we dig the well of sitna, enmity and hostility. There, we taste the contradictions of the tradition within us. When we come to know the suffering and struggles of our ancestors and the whole human family who have stood against one another, we cry out, also from this Torah portion, Im ken lama ze anuchi. If life is like this, why is there so much suffering, and why to me? As Rebecca exclaims during her childbirth of the twin siblings, who rival in her womb and become national rivalries in their life. At this point, the very moment of birthing, we dig the well of rechovot, spaciousness. The well of our ancestors becomes a fountain connecting the dark depths of our human story with the wide skies of awareness. In the story of Toldot, we learn of the tragedy of deception between brothers that results from the narrow belief in the scarcity of blessing. Our family is torn apart because of the tragic conviction that only one of Isaac's sons may receive this blessing. This system of limiting blessing and creating hierarchy is born of the belief that love and blessing are finite, that there are winners and losers. This idea is drawn from the well of contention, Esek. When I deceive my brother or attempt to steal the blessing from my sister, I am drawing on the well of enmity, hostility, sitna, whose waters are poison, which will only drive me to greater thirst. From the well of spaciousness comes the wisdom that our fates are bound up with one another. Your loss, your suffering is also mine, and true blessing is shared. At the well of spaciousness, I slake my thirst with the knowledge that the source of blessing knows no bounds, and that we are each capable of accessing that blessing directly. Pain narrows our awareness, disguises itself as the whole of reality. When pain presents itself, we must remember that it is a doorway. Our way through into spaciousness and getting closer to life is to allow ourselves to cry out, even if our cries are filled with despair. The cry may open the ancestral well, bearing the pain of our humanity, digging through the wells of Esek, through Sitna to the well of Rechovot. We can receive the legacy of our mothers and fathers who struggled and gave us new life. The spiritual challenge of drawing from the well of our ancestors is to receive their essence and make it our own. There's always the danger of getting caught in the forms that we have inherited without tasting and knowing their essence. We must let our own unique creative flow be invited and opened by the legacy that we inherit. Close quotes from Rabbi Shefa Gold. This beautifully poetic teaching is an opportunity, especially in this Shabbat of Thanksgiving, as we sit with our families and are conscious of expressing gratitude for them, to note our attitude we each have for blessing and rivalry. We can recognize within ourselves, our family members, our perspective of the other in the universe, a tendency or philosophy to feel contention or hostility versus openness and trust. If we choose an awareness that blessing is abundant and infinite, perhaps we can extend an open and honest hand out to discourse with our spiritual siblings, either in our own family, within our community, the larger family of the Jewish people, or perhaps our neighbors, those who vote for the other, or perhaps our national siblings, whomever they may be. This week, it appears as though Israel has come to an understanding, a ceasefire, with our neighbors in the north, namely the Hezbollah. In this case, the other is a terrorist organization whom we have just fought a bloody, difficult war for over a year. A war that has claimed the lives of so many and wreaked infinite suffering. It would probably be easier to turn to the well of Esek, contention, or the well of Sitna, enmity and hostility, in our attitude towards them. However, if we are ever to change anything in this cycle of suffering, we would have to challenge ourselves as the people of Israel, the people who study, who engage in discourse and discussion, to seek out and turn towards the well of Rechovot, spaciousness and openness. I personally find it challenging to find forgiveness, to look ahead towards such a vision, but also realize that in war there are no winners, and this one has claimed the lives of too many of our children, our fathers, our brothers for over a year. We must turn our face and our heart towards openness and honest dialogue. May we be able to cultivate trust and hope that will eventually turn into blessings we so deeply yearn for. Shabbat Shalom. Continue with Aleinu on page 282. Please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Our thoughts turn to the people in our community that are no longer with us. I invite you, if you hear your loved one's name that you have come to remember here tonight, to rise when you hear their name. And we will all rise together to chant Kaddish at the end of the list on page 294. First and foremost, we extend our deepest condolences to Barbara on the recent loss of her husband's mother, Mazal Yefet. We're so sorry for your loss. We're also in the period of Shloshim for Francisco Fernandez Lopez de Uralde, David Haberfield, William Levine, and Philip Needles Williams. We also come to remember in this time, this week, Ava Back, Amalia Bolani, John Burns, Leon Cheskin, Harriet Dorff, Julia Dorman, Erwin Epstein, Helen Fine, Jake Fink, Theodore Fried, Shirley Goldman, Hannah Ita Krause, Nathan Lane, David K. Marks Sr., Annette Miller, Samuel Newman, Mary Paris, Henry M. Platt, Philip Rand, June Crease Resch, Sheila Rich, Agatha Rockamo, Fortunata Rockamo, Claire Rothman, Morris Snow, Abraham Weinberg, Bernard Weintraub, Lawrence Willand, Alexander Yelin, and Sina Yelsky. If there's anybody else that I have not mentioned that you're thinking of at this time, please mention them for us. We rise for Kaddish. Please join me in the words. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Kiddush is on page 5. Ben, you're it. Annabelle and Sam, you can also come up and join your brother on the bima, because you will also have your turn soon enough. Oh, we don't have wine here. Oh, it's over there. Sorry, thank you. I'm blind. Here you go. Don't you need a prayer book? You know it by heart? Why you hoarse? Why is he hoarse? What is that? What's happening?
I don't know.
Okay, hold this. This is the wrong prayer book. Thank you very much. Hold on. The whole thing. You don't know the entire thing? Stand up. This will happen to you too, so get ready. Begin. Hold the cup. Hold the cup. Go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri
Agafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron b'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh el nitzayot Mitzrayim ki banu v'harta v'otanu v'itashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'shava ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Next time you're doing it by yourself. All right, here we go. Do we know this one? You only get challah if you know the blessing. Ready?
I know.
Harrison, are you ready? Let's go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min ha'oretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Come have challah. Thank you, Lieberman kids. Give it to Dawn. Oh, okay.